Hello guys, what is up? Today I want to make a rather unusual commentary for my channel, I think. It is a bit more of a philosophical topic, but it also kind of taps into internet culture and the YouTube phenomenon. What I want to talk about is empathy, and that in regard to the YouTube comment culture, and I'm gonna give a few more examples in this. So what does empathy mean? To have no empathy means if you are incapable of putting yourself in another person's position and just kind of hate on them or rant or give them bad comments or bad feedback and just be really unreasonably mean to them in a way. So in my personal opinion, the internet made this phenomenon worse. It is obviously something that has always existed. Even in the old time, you had peoples that were just assholes and they're running around and, ranting at people just to kind of push through their own will. But the big difference is that now in the internet, you don't see an instant reaction anymore. And what I mean by that is if in the old time, or if, kids play around with cursing other kids in school or swearing or seeing what reactions they get. So in school, when you go to another kid and you say something like, I don't know, you are fat, because kids often are just really, really honest and their thoughts are just coming out in a kind of unfiltered way. So they go to another kid and they say, you're smelly or you are fat or whatever. You can see the reaction of the other kid, right? You can see it really hurt him and he's not happy with it. And kids are naturally empathic. That means they actually recognize that and they realize that it probably wasn't a good thing to have done, and they act accordingly. They then stop doing these kind of things and kind of learn that lesson from this happening. On the internet, if I write a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or anywhere else on YouTube under a video and I'm just kind of judging someone and say, your video is the biggest shit ever and it just sucks, I don't get an instant reaction back. I cannot see if it actually hurt the YouTuber or if he maybe put a lot of work into that video, and if it maybe means a lot to him. The thing is, it's good to give feedback and it's good to tell people honestly what you're thinking, but consider that you should put yourself in his shoes in a way before you write a comment. A lot of times it just comes down to articulation, like how do you write a comment makes such a huge difference in how it is perceived. And I can just see so many comments on YouTube where people are just ranting like crazy and they just seem to have no filter and they have no empathy towards anyone else. So what are the reasons for that? Like I said before, when kids are small and they grow up, they are kind of naturally empathic. Where does it come from that so many teenagers and actually people from all kinds of ages develop the lack of empathy and they just go completely crazy, and there's this huge hate and rant culture on the internet, often for topics that are completely out of proportion. It doesn't really matter, it's not a big deal, but people just rant like crazy as if they have no emotions towards other people. There are obvious reasons for that, like jealousy, maybe anger, maybe you're unhappy with your own life, what you're doing in your life doesn't satisfy you. A lot of people, I think, have the feeling that they are born to bigger things, but then they just have a, quotation mark, normal job, and they just build up this anger inside of them. Another side of this that I'd like to mention is that often empathy seems to be perceived as a weakness, and let me give you an example of that. The example actually is Justin Bieber, right? I'm not a Justin Bieber fan. I think I don't even know a single song that he made, but what I can see is that wherever the word Justin Bieber pops up on the internet, everyone just throws stones and shit at him as much as you can. I don't want to defend the guy, but I try to put myself into his position and it must be just terrible. I mean, yes, he's got millions of dollars and, he's famous and wherever he goes, girls freak out or whatever, but it must be terrible that nobody takes you serious. Nobody looks at you before they judge you, if you know what I mean. People are just throwing shit into your direction wherever they can because it is so easy to hate on Justin Bieber. It is much more difficult not to hate on Justin Bieber, and it's much more tricky to kind of defend him and to kind of take a position where you actually say, well, of course his music is not great and he's aiming his persona that he created at like 10-year-old girls or whatever, but why should I hate him? What is that of my concern? I never wrote a negative comment about Justin Bieber simply because I don't care. Why should I care? What has Justin Bieber ever done to me? I don't know. So the same story also counts for Muslims. We can see in the last year a huge hatred towards Muslim people and the Muslim religion. I'm living in London, it's a very multicultural city, and here you don't see it that much, but I feel like even in Germany, where I grew up, you get a lot of very drastic hate against Muslim people, and obviously in America now, since America kind of officially declared war against the Muslim religion and kind of communicates it as a religion of hatred and disrespect towards women and so many other things, people just pick that up, and it's very, very easy to be afraid of Muslims, don't trust Muslims, judge them before you actually know them. There's very, very little empathy from people towards the Muslim religion and the Muslim culture, and that leads to misunderstandings on both sides, right? Like in Germany, a lot of Turkish people hate Germans, but I believe that's because Germans are also very disrespectful to Turkish people. So there is not really a guilty party there, you know. You can point your finger at one or the other, but in the end, both of them are doing things that kind of add to the overall confusion and to the overall lack of empathy. So I just wanted to make this video because I think everyone can do their little part in kind of developing their own skill of empathy, I want to say, because it is something that you can train, and it is a behavior that you can change if you just look at yourself. I mean, next time you want to write a comment and you see a video where you think, well, that was just complete bullshit, think about it, you know, think about how you're going to articulate your feedback. It's alright to tell the YouTuber that you think his video wasn't very good. That's totally fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but don't write, that was the biggest shit I've ever seen, you know, and all your videos are shit, and I'm gonna tell my friends and your mom, or you know, this whole culture of doxing that you see these days, where personal details of YouTubers or game developers like Phil Fish recently were just put on the internet, that his private address, all his details. I don't understand why anyone would do that. I mean, even if you can, and even if you really deeply hate that person, there's literally no reason to harm him in such a way. Whatever he did, it can't be that bad. So anyway, guys, this video is way too long already. I just wanted to get this off my chest. I hope you found it slightly interesting, and maybe it changed you a little bit, or maybe it made you think. If you enjoyed the video, you can leave me a like, that would be appreciated. You can also subscribe to my channel. Normally I do more like game related videos, but I thought this one might be also a bit of interest, especially at the moment where there's so much lack of empathy, I feel. So anyway, guys, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.